Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about intelligence, not my intelligence, but actual physical intelligence, how we gather information. Because any decisions that we make should be based on the intelligence that we've gathered. And there's what we see, isn't there, happening around us, in our towns, in our neighbourhoods, etc. But we also sometimes want to go beyond that, don't we? Outside our town, what's happening at a county level, what's happening at a national level, what's happening at an international level. We've seen times past, well, the government, I guess, you would get information from the government. But again, in recent years, people aren't so trusting of government. And I think for a lot of reasons, and I think many of those reasons are justified. So we don't turn to government quite so much to find out information. Of course, in years past, we also looked at media, albeit with newspapers. You would read a newspaper to find out what was happening in the world, or we tune into the TV or the radio. Those iconic images of the family sat round a wireless, listening to the Prime Minister of the day telling everyone that we were going to war. And the good old BBC has kept us informed over the years. But nowadays we are perhaps a little bit skeptical of the mainstream media, because at the end of the day, their businesses, they're strongly connected with corporations and government, and you've only got to look at the news and you start thinking, why aren't they talking about this? Everyone knows about it. Why aren't they talking about this? Because somebody told them not to. So we're not getting the full picture from those guys. There's also been a rise nowadays in amateur journalists, citizen journalists, who see things, report on things, and some of them are very, very good. And you can go onto YouTube and all the social media platforms, and there will be lots and lots of information being thrown your way. Now, I think with that, we do need to be a little bit wary. We saw during Southport, potentially, that was manipulated by powers outside of the UK. Whether that was, or whether that was powers within the UK trying to throw us off the scent, that they were, who knows? Who knows? And that's the big thing. We don't know. I read a book last year, The Dark Secrets of SHTF Survival. And it was written by a bloke who had survived the Balkans conflict, living in a town where there was no running water, no gas, no electricity, no rule of war, no rule of law. Pretty scary stuff. And it was quite a unique perspective that he had written. One of the things he said, and if you studied the news at the time, the Balkans flared fairly quickly, and suddenly things got very nasty very, very quickly. But one of the things he says right at the beginning of the book, and it's very, very interesting, in retrospect, he was surprised how easily and quickly the population was manipulated into doing some pretty awful things. Neighbourhoods where people had lived side by side for generations suddenly were setting light to each other's homes, killing their neighbours, etc. And that had all been pre-planned and motivated by other people. And I think that's why we need to be careful, because there are a lot of different sources, and some of those sources may have agendas of their own, and it's very difficult to distinguish who are genuine and who are not. Certainly from my perspective, that's what I find. What I've tried to do is have a broad perspective of different intelligence avenues, different stuff coming in, so that I'm building up this picture. I don't want to go to just one or two people that I see on YouTube who I think are potentially telling the truth, because They could be people with their own agendas. I don't know. What do you do? Tell me what you think. Tell me, where are you getting your intelligence from? Because that intelligence, for me at the moment, that's quite vital, because I want to start making some pretty big decisions. Anyway, that's all from me. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.